Okay, hi, my name is Alexis Whipple, and this is my contemporary business leader presentation. So to start off, I think it's important to define conscious leadership. So conscious leadership is defined as guiding others with full awareness of the self and cultivating growth in organizations by supporting the people in them. Additionally, I pulled the definition of leadership from our textbook, which is the process of inspiring others to work hard and accomplish important tasks. And additionally, I think it's important to note that leading is one of the 4 basic management functions that we have been studying in class all semester. So moving on to the characteristics of leadership. Leadership provides guidance and motivation and inspiration when achieving goals. And some characteristics of leadership are drive, self-confidence, creativity, cognitive ability, motivation, flexibility, honesty, integrity, communication, self-awareness, intention, active listening, and emotional intelligence. So moving on to who I picked to research for this project, I picked Luca Bonafinetti. I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right, but Luca is a U.S. assurance partner based in Los Angeles, California with Macram Accountants. He focuses on the PCAOB auditing standards, which is the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. He also focuses on ICRF reports, which are internal control finance reports, as well as SEC reports, US GAAP reports, and oil and gas sectors. Luca has 20 years of experience in the industry with 50 to 200 employees on each assignment and has experience in domestic and international inspection programs, as well as a background in auditing and accounting services. So what organization is the leader that I picked affiliated with? Luca is affiliated with Markham Accountants, which is a certified public accounting company. He has been a U.S. assurance partner and business leader for 20 years with a background in accounting and auditing services. Luca also is a primary team partner in his firm. So now looking at the 4 different leadership theories, there are 4 different types of leadership theories. We have autocratic leadership, democratic leadership, human relation leadership, and laissez-faire leadership. So first of all, autocratic leadership means that the leader makes most of the decisions, gives orders, there's very quick decisions, and they have a high degree of control over their subordinates. And this type of leadership emphasizes task over people. Human relations leadership is very warm and caring, very attentive to people's needs, reluctant to hold people accountable or push for results, and this can create a passive environment and emphasize people over task. Democratic leadership, there's a lot of consulting with subordinates and considering suggestions. There's a lot of collective decision-making and input from all team members, and they have a high degree of respect for their subordinates, as well as this type of leadership is committed to people and task. And then lastly, the laissez-faire leadership. This type of leadership has little concern for task. They act in a very much group make decision type of way, and they act in a do your best, don't bother me fashion. This type of leadership is a very bare minimum type of leadership. So moving on to Luca's leadership style, after researching the types of leadership styles and learning more about what Luca does as a leader at his firm and as a primary team partner, I believe that he has a mix of autocratic and democratic leadership styles. So once again, autocratic leadership means that the leader makes decisions very quickly and has a high degree of control over subordinates. And democratic leadership means that they are consulting with subordinates and there's collective decision making and there's a high degree of respect for subordinates. So the reason that I think he has partially an autocratic leadership style is because he does make a lot of decisions on his own as a primary team partner. And they have to be quick decisions in order to meet deadlines to continue on with other assignments. And as a primary team partner, he also has a variety of employees that work below him. And therefore, he is the one in charge of making decisions. I also believe he has a democratic leadership style because he does work with other team members and other individuals in his firm to complete assignments and to get reports done. Therefore, there is some collective decision-making in some situations, and there has to be a degree of respect for his subordinates and team members. So now looking at Luca's achievements, I have a list of his achievements here. So starting off that he led inspection companies associated with the 4 biggest accounting companies in the world. That he has extensive experience in various industries, including manufacturing, retail, distribution, software, mining, and life sciences, as well as a comprehensive knowledge of revenue recognition, long-lived assets, goodwill valuation, business combination, and inventory, and he also has experience with foreign issuers and IFRS, as well as that he is responsible for implementing and maintaining the firm's assurance policies and procedures and compliance with governing bodies. In addition, that he provides guidance and leadership to firm professionals on technical accounting and auditing matters. And lastly, that he has an in-depth knowledge of US GAAP, IFRS, SEC reporting, and PCAOB auditing standards. So I believe that his greatest accomplishment in his career is that he worked with the Public Accounting Oversight Board, where he participated in leading both domestic and international inspection companies associated with the 4 biggest accounting companies in the world. I think this is his greatest achievement because working with 4 of the biggest accounting companies in the world is a huge achievement. And I think that takes tons of leadership skills, including dedication, integrity, motivation, and communication in order to be able to lead a program like that and to do it as well as he did and do it as long as he did. So now we're going to look at this scale of characteristics of servant leadership in relation to his achievement. So in relation to Luca's greatest achievement, I believe that Luca demonstrated servant leadership skills almost perfectly. I gave him a 48 out of 50 on this scale. And I think the 2 most important aspects on this scale would be listening and awareness. I think listening would be the most important because you're not able to get things done and do things well without being able to listen what needs to be done or listen to people's opinions and other people's requests on certain situations, as well as working and collaborating with other people in your workplace. And I also think being aware is a very important characteristic of a leader. And I think every single aspect on this list helped him get to where he was with his greatest achievement of working with those 4 big accounting companies. So next, we're going to look at Luca's biggest challenge. So I think Luca's biggest challenge is coordination of completing procedures on time and getting accurate reports as the primary team member. And I think this is probably the most challenging thing for him because he is working with other people in order to get these reports done. Like he's getting information from different parts of his firm and other firms. So having to coordinate when you need that information on time can be a challenge, as well as getting accurate reports, having to look through every single one of these reports and make sure every single number is correct can be a challenge if you're not looking closely enough. And I think this is more of a leadership role than a managerial role since Luca is in charge of creating the reports. And as a leader, it's important for him to be clear in his communication to his employees and team members and people in his firm about when and how the reports need to be completed. So then looking at this servant leadership characteristics document again in relation to his biggest challenge this time, I gave him a 49 out of 50. And I think his biggest challenge would be, again, the coordination of completing procedures on time. And I think the scale of characteristics relates to handling a challenge because all of these characteristics are extremely beneficial in dealing with problems or overcoming challenges. I think the most important thing from this list would be listening. You're not able to solve problems or handle challenges without listening to what the issue is. And I think that when working with the 4 big accounting companies and leading inspection reports, it's extremely important to listen to what needs to be done and how to do it, as well as listening to other team members and partners when working on these reports to coordinate getting them done on time as well and accurate. And I also would say that awareness is important in handling challenges. If you're not aware of a problem, if you're not aware of how to handle a challenge or how to overcome a challenge, you're never going to overcome it and you're never going to move forward. So I would say those are the most 2 important things. And I would see how these aspects are important for a leader to use in handling challenges. So next we're going to talk about who I interviewed. So I interviewed my dad. My dad's name is Matthew Whipple. He is a U.S. assurance partner with Ernst & Young. He has 29 years of experience. He serves U.S. public companies and foreign private issuers listed with the U.S. SEC. He specializes in mining and metals and oil and gas sectors, and he works with over 30 EY firms worldwide. And he has experience with clients in North America, South America, Africa, Europe, the Middle East, and Mexico. So moving on to power bases and impact on behavior, there are 4 main power bases. We have position power, personal power, informational power, and connection power. And I think both Luca and Matt use personal power to handle their challenges. When needing to coordinate and make sure reports are accurate, it makes sense for Luca and Matt to use personal power to face challenges. Because of their expertise and special skills in their field, they're able to fix mistakes and handle challenges on their own instead of looking towards someone else to assert the power to fix those things and in order to get things done. So they both use their expertise in personal power, which is the second type of power base that we've talked about this semester. So next, we're going to compare leadership styles. So both Luca and Matt use autocratic and democratic leadership styles in their careers. So I think some strengths of autocratic leadership are that it ensures faster decision-making, enhances workplace communication, improves productivity, and provides clarity on structure and roles. And some weaknesses would be that it results in micromanagement, can create dependency on the skills of the leader, can create a high-pressure work environment, and it can lack creativity. And then some strengths of democratic leadership would be that there are job satisfaction, commitment, greater innovation, multiple solutions can be generated, and there's a lot of team cohesion. And then some weaknesses would be that decision making can slow down, performance can falter, and leaders may feel overwhelmed. So moving on, we're going to look at the mission, vision, and strategy statement of my dad's company and how this characteristics of servant leadership applies to his mission and vision statement. So in my interview with my dad, he provided me with his company's mission statement, which is, at UI, there's a purpose to build a better working world. The insights and quality services they provide help build trust and confidence in capital markets and economies across the world. They develop outstanding leaders to team together to deliver their promises to all their stakeholders. So in regard to that mission and vision statement, it's important to use all of these attributes in the workplace in order to perform the best and bring that statement to life. So I gave my dad a perfect score on this scale, as well as in our interview when I was talking to him. He also said that he would use every single one of these attributes every day, and that it's important to be able to come into work every day and to be able to deliver these attributes and how you present yourself in the workplace in order to bring your best every single day, as well as to bring that mission and vision statement of your company to life. So then three successful business leader behaviors that I picked were communication, collaboration, and accountability. So I picked communication because I think it's important to define goals, but it's also important to communicate so they're not misunderstandings. Communication is a huge thing among everyone, and I think especially in the workplace, it's super important to make sure there's not misunderstandings so that everyone is aware of what they need to do and when things need to be done. As well as collaboration is important because it improves the way your team works together and problem solves, as well as effective collaboration can help team members feel more trusted by their leaders in the workplace. And then I also picked accountability because it ensures that you're following through with your commitments, and it can also instill a level of trust between team members and a leader. And I would say out of these three, I think accountability is the most important behavior of a successful business leader. I think if you can hold yourself accountable for the things that you need to get done, you are one step ahead of everyone else. And especially if you can stand up and own up to mistakes and stuff when handling challenges and problems in the workplace, being accountable for those things is a great thing to be able to do as a business leader. So then why I picked these leaders, I picked Luca because he's a US assurance partner with 20 years of experience, and he has extensive experience leading various industries, including manufacturing, retail, software, as well as mining and life sciences, and that he has experience in domestic and international inspection programs associated with the Big Four accounting firms. And then I picked my dad, Matthew Whipple, because he is a U.S. assurance partner with Ernst & Young for 29 years, and he focuses on serving and leading U.S. public companies and foreign private issuers listed within the U.S. SEC. He also specializes in mining and metals and oil and gas sectors, and has experience with companies and firms worldwide, including North and South America, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Mexico. So then some challenges and some questions that I encountered over this project and in my interview. I didn't really have any challenges in my interview, but I guess one thing that was challenging for me was understanding the field that my dad works in. So after researching more about Luca and being able to understand more about what he does in his career and in his field, it was really helpful to get this project done and to research more about it, as well as in my interview with my dad, being able to ask questions and to have a little bit more of an explanation of what he does was really helpful in understanding what he does as a U.S. assurance partner. And then a question that I did ask my dad in our interview was, what type of leadership style do you think you use most in your everyday work? And he gave me a answer along the lines of an autocratic and democratic leadership style, which I thought was interesting. So I think it was also cool to learn how different leadership styles are integrated in the real world. And then lastly, what did I learn? I learned what it takes to be a successful leader and that there are different ways to be a successful leader. I learned that it's important to be kind and to create connections. My dad has always told me to be kind to everyone you meet, which I think is great advice no matter what. But reason being that it's important to be kind to everyone you meet and to create connections, because you never know when you're going to run into someone as a boss or a prospect or an employee later on in life, as well as that it's important to be curious about your profession. If you can be curious about your profession, you can create new experiences and learn new things absolutely every single day. And that is something to be grateful for, to be able to learn every single day. So yeah, this is my reference slide, and that was my presentation on contemporary business leaders. Thank you for listening.